With 2014 promising the evolution of the good old PC with the Steam machines and the Steam OS and even the Steam controller, as well as AMD's new Mantle API and the Oculus Rift and a bunch of next-gen games in line with the recent release of the next-gen consoles, it becomes all too easy to forget some of the great experiences that we managed to get our hands on during 2013. And that is why I have taken this time to compile our top 20 PC games of 2013. These top 20 lists are going to become somewhat of a regular feature on the channel, I think, so be sure to slap that subscribe button and enjoy. Warning, this top 20 list only contains PC games released in 2013. Pre-release games like games in beta or alpha are not included. If a game that you like does not make it onto this list, it most likely means that I never got a chance to play it, or I did and thought it was nothing more than a steaming pile of Please feel free to leave your top 20 and or opinions on this list on the comment section below this video. If you're unable to do so in a calm and mature manner, please proceed to close this video and step the back from the internet. Thank you. Kicking off our list at number 20, we have Shootmania Storm. Now this game promised to be somewhat of a revival for the competitive first-person shooter scene, and it was designed from the ground up with esports in mind, and that really did show. Shootmania is an FPS that has been stripped back to the pure basics. No gun models, no flashy graphics, and no single player. It's a game where skill actually means something, and it's surprising how much of a rarity that actually is in the current gaming climate. However, due to a botched launch and a business model that I'm yet to fully understand, the game flopped. And that is just such a shame because it barely managed to claw its way into my top 20. The perfect competitive shooter, Shootmania is not. However, that's not to say it ain't fun, because it is. It's just not what many of us were hoping for. And I have to be honest, that makes me kind of sad. It really does. Finding itself home alone at our number 19 spot, we have Gone Home. Now personally, I do wish that I could have put this much higher up on the list. However, as it does blur the line between what can and cannot be classified as a game, I thought it was only fair to leave it at number 19. Regardless, this is one of the greatest experiences that I have had over the past 12 months. I think deep down all of us have got some form of voyeuristic tendencies, and Gone Home manages to open those up and really does push them to the point where you believe that you may be looking a little bit too deeply into these people's lives. You play the part of a young lady who arrives home after a trip around Europe, only to find that the family home is deserted. You look around and you try and piece things together and find out what could have happened, or did anything even happen at all. Gone Home managed to make me think about what people would see if they looked around my things. Game or not a game, it does not matter. I respect any form of media that can make me think this long and hard, so long after I put it down.
You know that feeling where the first moment you see someone, it's like they have a big gold star around them? And you have to get to know them. Well, there's this girl. I think she's a senior.
Squirting its loot generously all over our number 18 spot, we have Path of Exile. Now I have to be honest with you guys, the only reason it's coming in at number 18 and not higher is because it completely fell off my radar towards the end of the year. And it wasn't until I started researching for this top 20 list that I actually started to remember just how much fun I had with it in the early days of release. If you was into your Diablo 3 last year, or maybe even Torchlight 2, I would definitely recommend checking out Path of Exile because it's one of the best free-to-play games that you are going to find on the PC right now. And the icing on the cake is that this has got to be the furthest free-to-play business model I have seen outside of Valve ever on the PC. And now you've got to admit that is impressive. Casually strolling into our number 17 spot, we have The Wolf Among Us. Now it could be said that recently adventure games have been having a little bit of a rebirth, and Telltale Games are most certainly the guys which are really leading that charge. I mean, it was only last year that The Walking Dead walked away with so many Game of the Year awards. And in many respects, The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead are very, very similar. Both when it comes to the gameplay mechanics and even the presentation. Yet, only time will tell if The Wolf Among Us will reach the same level of praise once the next 4 episodes are released. And on a side note, I do feel the need to ask, do you think that all fairy tales really do end with a happily ever after?
I need to tell you something.
What is it?
You're not as bad as everyone says you are. I'll see you around, Wolf.
Slicing and dicing its way into our number 16 spot, we have Shadow Warrior. Now, every now and again, a game comes along which is just as much old school as it is fresh, and that's Shadow Warrior. And Shadow Warrior also never takes itself too seriously either, and neither should you. It's all about simple, dumb fun with a sharp sword. And I mean really, what else on this earth could you possibly want to know? Shadow Warrior is dumb, stupid, fun. Play it! Go on, now. Well, after this. Go! Still managing to boggle my mind at number 15, we have Antechamber. This is really a game that you guys need to experience yourself in order to truly understand what it's trying to be and what it actually is. I mean, saying that, I have completed it multiple times, and I still end up getting lost, and I still end up feeling really confused, and that's why calling Antechamber a puzzle game is not entirely fair. In fact, at many points you'll be trying to rely on logic, and it will not get you very far, because when is a wall not a wall may sound like a really silly question, but at the same time, these are the exact same questions you will find yourself asking every few minutes when playing Antechamber. I suppose one of the negatives with the way that the game has been designed is that you will sometimes find cracks in the game's logic. Normally when you're trying to solve a problem and you do it by accident or too early in some cases, you can end up in this kind of endless loop which you do not realise that you're in, so you carry on looking for a puzzle when really what you needed to do was press escape and start again. So there are some small frustrations in there, but overall the game is really pretty in an understated way, and you will have a lot of fun trying to get towards your final destination, which I'm not going to spoil for you guys, but you really should check it out. There is no right or wrong way of playing this game, as long as you finish it, that is. Flexing its maximum strength at number 14, we have Crysis 3. When it comes to graphics on the PC, one of the first franchises that always comes to mind is definitely Crysis. Number 3 in the series manages to keep that tradition alive with some of the best looking environments ever in a video game. The single player campaign is also quite fun. Sure, I mean, it's not going to win any awards for storytelling or even gameplay innovation for that matter. It simply does what it does, and it does it to a decent standard. It's definitely better than Crysis 2, but it doesn't feel quite as refreshing as the original. The multiplayer is a typical affair, kind of like Call of Duty meets $6 Million Man kind of thing. I mean, I doubt it's going to keep your attention for very long, but it's definitely fun while it lasts. My biggest issue with the game overall was the performance, which is kind of ironic. I mean, sure, it looks amazing. I just don't like it when developers choose visuals over gameplay. This is definitely a game to come back to in a few years' time when you can crank up them settings to maximum and play with a decent FPS. It'll be much more enjoyable, but still, it deserves its spot. Crysis 3, number 14.
What the? Oh no. No.
Claire, this is Prophet, my CO from...
Look at the modifications, Michael! Is it Seth? Cell? Is it even human?
Finding itself at unlucky number 13, we have the Stanley Parable. Now, is this a game? I am not entirely sure. I mean, I suppose the thing that really stood out for me throughout the whole Stanley Parable experience is this constant feeling that you are being trolled. I mean, while I never found myself literally laughing my ass off, I did find myself with this huge cheesy grin from ear to ear throughout my whole gameplay experience. I mean, I don't want to spoil any of the many endings, but what I will say is go and get the demo on Steam or download the full mod version and you will not be disappointed. It's crazy.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley.
Painting my pants brown, we have Outlast at number 12. Now, I have to be honest with you guys, I never actually got a chance to complete this game. Though I did manage to watch lots of other people playing it on YouTube and laugh as they suffered. Hitting Steam not long before Amnesia and Machine for Pigs was smart. Actually making a game 10 times better than a Machine for Pigs, even smarter. This has got to be one of the best horror games on the PC at the moment, and while sure you can get cheap scares for free all over the internet, with Outlast you actually feel like you're playing a real game. Just make sure you play it with your headphones on and with the lights turned off, and I promise you, it will scare you senseless. See? I told you. Finally, coming in just outside the top 10, we have Battlefield 4 holding down number 11. Oh dear, where to start with this one? This game should technically be in everybody's top 5 PC games of the year. It was without a doubt the most ambitious multiplayer shooter released, it looks gorgeous, it's packed full of content, and it is technically accomplished. However, let's just tell it how it is. It's broken. Be it bad design, features being disabled, the hundreds of bugs, dozens of crashes, or even the so-called netcode. I have never seen a respected AAA developer release something in such a poor state. It really does baffle the mind, and it is such a shame. Saying all that, there is finally some light at the end of the tunnel. Crashes are becoming less frequent, the bugs are slowly getting eradicated, and the feel of the whole game is improving. If you are watching this as little as even a few weeks from when the video goes live, you may be wondering what on earth I'm talking about right now. In fact, that's exactly what I hope. I want this game to be great. While I understand that it's not going to be everybody's idea of a decent game, there is no denying how far PC gaming has come in such a short time, and Battlefield 4 really does demonstrate that. If you're looking for a new game that could last you for a couple of years as a bit of fun, and be your FPS on the side, Battlefield 4 could be that game that you've been looking for. Keep an eye out on YouTube or even the forums to follow the progression on the patches that are being released. I still believe things will only get better for Battlefield, and I cannot wait for that day. Please, come soon. I beg you. Alrighty then, let's see where we are up to in this list. At number 20, we have Shootmania Storm. At number 19, we have Gone Home. At number 18, Path of Exile. At number 17, The Wolf Among Us. At number 16, Shadow Warrior. At number 15, Antichamber. At number 14, Crisis 3. At number 13, The Stanley Parable. At number 12, Outlast. And finally, at number 11, Battlefield 4. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I really do hope that you've enjoyed this up till now. You can always click on the part 2 to see the top 10. However, bear in mind, if it's not live yet, it will be going live very soon. I got a little bit slow because of New Year and all that jazz, so I do apologise. However, if you would like to see how I did spend my New Year, click on the video below. I can tell you it's kind of interesting. If you haven't got annotations enabled, don't worry, you can find the links in the description. I am Pixel. Like I said, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to slap that subscribe button for some more PC gaming goodness, and to like this video if you like this video. And until next time guys, bye bye.